Hi, boys and girls, it's Shane, and I'm going to talk to you about your credit score. A score is something we keep in a game, and credit is a game. If you can play a video game, I can teach you how to get a stack of credit cards and an incredible credit score, and even buy houses, like my yellow house that went viral this weekend. That I bought with nothing but a credit card, and I'll teach you all the ways that we do that in this video. So the first element that determines your score that's very easy to game is the amount of credit you have available related to how much credit you're using. Most people think, oh no, I've got $1,500 or I've got $5,000 in credit that I'm using. My credit score is bad. I have to pay that off in order to improve my credit score. And that's not at all how it works. Let's give you an example. If you have $1,000 in credit card debt right now, and you have $1,500 available in credit, you're using too much of your available credit. Your score is going to be bad. As far as a bank's concerned, you're going to be a terrible person. We can't lend you any money until you pay that down. That's what a lot of them will tell you, but that's not true. If you have $1,000 in credit card debt and you have $5,000 available, now you're using 20% of your credit. That's great. Any bank will lend to you. It's the same $1,000. Rather than paying it down, we increased the amount of credit we had available, and that increased our score. So if you want to have a higher score, one of the secrets is to have more available credit. We don't have to hold a lower balance. We don't have to pay our credit cards down. We need to have more available credit. So anytime you can get a credit card, that increases the amount of credit you have available, and thus that's going to increase the likelihood your score goes up. 2, and this goes back to having a whole stack of credit cards, the on-time payments ratioed against your late payments. Most people will tell me, oh, Shane, I have a late payment this year. My credit's bad, and it's just going to be a few years before it gets better. And if you're doing it the normal way and you only have one credit card, then yes, that's going to be the case. But we're trying to game this system. It's not cheating, but it's using it to our advantage. If you have one credit card, you're making 12 payments a month. One for every month, 12 payments. So if you're late on one payment, almost 10% of your payments are late. If you go into a bank and try to ask for a loan and they say, how frequently are you late? Oh, about 10% of the time, the banks are going to say, well, hit the road. We don't need to lend to you. And that's why the credit score goes down when you're late on one payment out of 12 or out of 24. But if you have a stack of credit cards, maybe 10, and you're making 10 payments every single month on those credit cards, even if it's only $5 on each one, that's an on-time payment. And you're late on one payment this year, that's 1 out of 120. Less than 1% of my payments are late. When you go to the bank, oh, less than 1% of the time I'm late on a payment. Oh, well, your credit's great. We'll gladly lend to you. Same number of late payments. The difference is we increase the number of on-time payments we're making. People with better credit scores will generally have much more credit accounts, if that makes sense. Okay? One of the third things, this is the more difficult one to change. This is of the big 3 for your credit score, and that's the age of your credit. That's why you need to start this today. The longer your average credit account has been opened, the better. I do not intend to ever close any credit account when I open it, except for possibly the beginning cards I'm going to tell you at the end of this video. I'll talk about the cards if you're just getting started that you can get approved for, even if you get declined for most credit cards. Those cost a little bit to hold every year. So after you get your credit built up, you can cancel those. But anytime you open a credit account, if it's free to have that credit card or costs you $30 a year to have it, keep that credit account open forever. Because 5 years from now, 10 years from now, that's just going to keep making your score go up and up and up and up and up and getting higher and higher. 2 other things that matter, but not nearly as much, is how many credit inquiries you have on your credit. So when you sign up for a bunch of credit cards, each one gives a credit inquiry. That's going to temporarily drop your score, but that's only briefly, just for a few months, and then your score will go back up. So credit inquiries, and that's a very small drop. It's not going to be as significant as like a late payment or something like that. So it's definitely okay to apply for credit cards. I do recommend applying for all the cards the same day. So clear a couple of hours and apply for 5 or 6 cards and try to get approved for 2 or 3 anytime you sign up for cards. That will help you. The last one is the types of credit. This also matters, but just a little bit. So if you have nothing but credit card accounts, that's also not optimal. It's good to use your credit for other things. Have an auto loan. It doesn't need to be a big auto loan. It doesn't need to be on a new car. That's not what I'm telling you. You can get a credit union account. Like, you could pay cash for a car, Dave Ramsey style if you want to, but then go to the bank and get an auto loan for $1,000 on that car, just so you have a car payment every single month of $50 or $100 or something like that. That's still going to give you a different kind of credit. That's going to help you to game that system. If you have a home mortgage, that helps you to have more types of credit. It shows more responsibility. So that's part of how your score is calculated as well. So if you're starting off and you've got a 550 credit score and you want to get up to 700 so you can start buying houses like I Buy Houses or other people you've seen, this is how you go about doing it. One, you're going to go to this web address. It needs to be exactly this. There's a lot of imitations. Make sure it's this one, and you're going to get your free credit report. From that credit report, anything that shows up on your credit that is a derogatory mark of any kind, you want to challenge it. So challenge it. You can use this website in order to do it, or you can look up how to challenge it. You'd be surprised, but it's not uncommon for you to just challenge things and then they go off of your credit. And that helps your score immediately. That's going to immediately improve it. Secondly, you're going to need to get started with some credit cards. So the two cards I recommend to people right now when you're getting started, and you should apply for both of these today if you're getting started, is the Open Sky credit card. Look up Open Sky credit card and the Indigo MasterCard. Both of those cards should approve you. They may require you to put $200 or $300 down before they give you that card. Then you're going to use that card to make on-time payments. We want to do 2 payments every single month. So when we're using that card, we want to put something on it like your Netflix, something that costs you $10 a month every single month. We want a very small item to go to it, and then we're going to set it to automatically pay after the statement is issued. So the credit bill will come due. You'll owe $10. You'll pay it immediately. You'll have an on-time payment, and your $10 utilization will be of maybe $300 available. So you'll be less than 20% of your credit card used every single month. That'll be for both of those cards. Set up a small bill to go to each one that represents less than 20% of your total available credit. Do that, and every single month you'll have 2 on-time payments. In 3 or 4 months, your credit score is going to be 100 points higher than it is today. I get messages all the time from people that can't believe how easy it was to do that. Once you get a higher credit score, then we're going to look at the Citi Double Cash card, the Discover It card. There's going to be these cards that are free for you to have forever, and they will actually give you cash back when you use them. When I go to the store and I buy stuff that I normally buy, I'll get 2% cash back, or my new Robinhood card gives me 3% cash back every time I shop anywhere, just 3% money back in my pocket. So you can literally get paid to build your better credit and then get lower payments on cars, better deals on houses. All of that can happen by following this video's advice. I talk to so many people that feel like it's just hopeless. I'm from a poor family. I'm always going to have bad credit, and it is not hopeless. It's just a matter of learning how we calculate the score and realizing that it is a game that you can play. So once you realize the number of on-time payments, the more cards you have, the more on-time payments you have every single month, the less credit you're using of your available credit. Because you have more available credit, I don't have to pay it down. I can just increase the availability and my score still goes up. Once you learn to do those 2 basic things, you should have no trouble winning at the credit game for the rest of your life.